Good evening, good evening, good evening again, folks. Welcome to tonight's second front load and another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do the usual disclaimers, I apologize for the lighting. I'm broke on a good day, comfortably broke, but broke, so I can't afford all that fancy lighting, alright? I also apologize in advance. I have seriously bad allergies right now. You're probably hearing it in my voice. You may hear weird noises in the back of my throat, or I might start coughing. I apologize for that in advance, alright? So let's shoot straight through it. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill. Read that article and share it on all your social media. Also included in there, NeuroClastic's public statement in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC actually sees through with their threat. Also included in there, the Ozarks' first article in regards to Agape Boarding School, now known as Stone for Help Boarding School. A so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called trouble male teens that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and folks, that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who still lives on the premises with full access to the boys, up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You have an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries to actually do his job. And you got a governor off his nut. So send help, read that article, share it on all your social media. Also included in there, all the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including this 1999 analysis done by Dr. Fredda Brown in regards to the JRC, Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masaba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present, self-explanatory Change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured, abused. If you got young children present, folks, please go ahead and use those headphones, all right? Trigger warning. This channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, folks, very obviously, parental supervision is advised, all right? All right, so where we left off, we're going to make it short and sweet because I really want to get on Ill Will Press and watch me some foamy videos. I highly recommend it. Please do it. It will help fix your sanity. Activity-based instruction and integrated therapy. Activity-based instruction and integrated therapy use the context of familiar, functional, age-appropriate routines in school or community settings to teach critical skills such as communication, motor, and social skills. This is the primary function of a CI, is what they used to call them, or community integrators. Their primary function was to do exactly what it's talking about here. My CI very much was foundational in regards to helping me create the routines that help me function in life. Whether it's a routine at school or a routine I developed based off of what they taught me to be able to handle going to convention after convention, routines to every situation, all based back on what I learned then from them, teaching us proper social etiquette, even when it makes no sense to us. Yes, I am eyeballing small talk because I hate it with my whole soul, and I still to this day do not see the point. I do it, but I find it monotonous and boring, and I don't understand why neurotypicals need it so much. Motor skill and social skills, all which become important to live independent and interdependently, I might add. The intent of these approaches is to teach those times when target skills are actually needed, so the conditions are realistic and learning is likely to be maintained and generalized. The observer did not know any instances of activity-based or integrated therapy during the observation. None of this was happening. My CI, it was more qualified to run this school than Dr. Matthew Israel. I'll say it. This IEP priorities identified her IEP of 315.99, including critical skills such as making a choice and signing. Jesus Christ. Is learning to sign documents important? Yes, but isn't that the sort of thing we all learn in grade school when we put the names on top of our papers before we turn them in? I think we got the memo. No instances of choice making were observed because people like the JRC don't believe we have the capacity to make choices. I'm going to put it out there and be blunt. The only instance of signing that was observed was when X was given a sign to stand up. Okay, so noticing nonverbal gestures. Okay, fair enough. We're not the best at understanding nonverbal body language, all right? That is a skill that I had developed out of necessity by people watching. It is not something that naturally occurs to me. It is something that I had to use and burn a whole lot of brain cells to be able to get down. In order for either of these important skills to be learned, they would need to be embedded within the context of her daily routine so that they could be practiced in functional situations. Exactly. You put it a part of a routine, and it's there for life, folks. Because once I get a routine down pat, I can run it all day, even on autopilot when I'm at my most tired and brain dead. In order for either of these skills to be important to be learned, they need to be, yes, routines, folks. Routines are foundational to people like me. You don't understand the level of importance that they hold. When something disrupts one of my routines, I might as well drink my sleeping tea, take the day off, and go back to bed because I am absolutely useless for the rest of the day. Even when I try hard to get back on track, when that brain fog hits because I got thrown out of routine, I'll give an example today, this morning. When I was trying to upload my video this morning, my computer was just refusing to, let's say it took a massively lot more time than it ever should have to get today's upload uploaded. And I'm pretty sure I might have just simply re-downloaded the upload I did the previous day, because my computer shut down and it went all wonky and sideways. I have been in a brain fog all day, folks, and the fact that I somehow managed to make it 8 hours through my job today at all and still be able to function without completely losing the rest of my gourd is a miracle, miracle, miracle. Okay? Routines are absolutely foundational. They are a necessity to our survival. I cannot overstate it. When we have those routines, you know what needs to be a part of those routines? Going out into the community, learning, for the love of God, real life skills that are going to matter when you live out in the real world outside of school. That's why real, actual transition programs have all of that embedded into them. The JRC keeps these kids in a torture center bubble. They're not interacting much unless they earn the right to, and then it's only to do fun things. It's not going out there and building the necessary relationships out in the community that is going to serve them later in life. It's not teaching them the important life skills such as balancing your checkbook, cleaning your home, being able to shop and cook healthy meals. These are the hallmarks of a decent transition program. All of this should have been a part of the IEP that the JRC was administering, and they did none of it. Zero, zilch, nada. And we're going to close out on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So folks, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.